Welcome back to the channel. I'm Paul. We are enthusiasts of British motor vehicles, and this is our tour of North Devon in February 2024. We'll get into the action right after this message. When your classic car cover is coming up for renewal, try our club scheme arranged with Peter James Insurance. It offers great rates and a range of exclusive benefits including free salvage retention and multi-vehicle options. Just click the link in the description below to get a quote.
The first issue on Saturday morning was Andy locking his keys in the boot of his MGF. Fortunately, a combination of MG Rover knowledge and super enthusiast man, together with his tools, soon recovered the keys.
Morning.
Good morning. At least it's not raining.
Yes, thank God.
They're all right, aren't they? Morning, Gar.
Morning, Anthony.
We set off from the Hoops Inn with Mike and Anita leading in Big T, followed by Ian and Gar in Ian's Granada Estate, then Keith in her Benz. Nick followed in his lovely MG RV8, Andy in his MGF, and Gus and Lee in Gus's Jaguar 420. Gaia and Vic were in their Escort and were followed by Pat and me in Earl, the grey XJ6.
North Devon, a canvas of winding roads and rolling hills where the salty breeze dances with the scent of heather and gorse. In your classic car you'll feel like a time traveller cruising through postcard-perfect villages and along rugged coastlines. You can just picture your vintage MG, Jaguar or Triumph hugging the curves of the A39, flanked by hedgerows and glimpses of the Atlantic. Or alternatively, you can picture yourself sitting in a long traffic jam for roadworks or getting your pride and joy filthy dirty in the pouring rain.
Along Croyd Road, there were excellent views across Saunton Sands Beach. There were 3 laybys for us to park in, and if they were full, tough. Ian and Mike parked their cars in the first lay-by, with Nick. Andy pinched the final parking space in the second lay-by behind Keith and Guy. The 2 Jags went on to find the third lay-by. Would there be space? Thank goodness for that. The third lay-by was empty. Both Jags fitted, although I did get told off as Pat jumped out of the car straight into a big puddle I had parked perfectly alongside. The view of the surf was magnificent. 50 years ago, I would have loved to take my kayak out in that lot. And then we were off again, towards Croyd. On our left, perched above the cliff top, is a white building looking much like a lighthouse. This was built by Edward and Hazel, under the watchful eye of Kevin MacLeod of Grand Designs.
Hello!
They started their project in 2011, and by 2022, they'd an almost finished house, no money, no kitchen or bathrooms, and divorce. It was interesting to actually see one of the Grand Designs houses, albeit fleetingly as we drove past.
As the group made its way downhill towards the beach, the sun came out, the sky began to turn blue, and it was looking optimistic for the rest of the day. Unfortunately, it was not to last. The gathering rain clouds proved to be a warning of what was soon to come as the group approached Ilfracombe.
We visited Ilfracombe briefly. It was raining so heavily that it felt as if the fire brigade were playing their biggest hoses on us. Passing the harbour on our left, the R&Li lifeboat station can be seen at the top of the slipway. We followed the convoy with Ian in front of us, but traffic and pedestrians caused the gap between us to get bigger and bigger until we could no longer see the white Granada ahead.
Sorry to interrupt the video, but if you're enjoying it, we need your help. All we're asking is for you to take just a second to hit the subscribe button and also do the same with the like button. Thank you. We do appreciate your support. Now, back to the video.
Pat and I were left with no choice but to put our next destination into the sat-nav and head straight for Tarr Steps. Sadly, we later learned, we missed out on some magnificent views along the coastal route.
As you can see in the Tarr Steps car park, the light was fading, it was looking a bit gloomy, but nevertheless the group proceeded cheerily down towards the Tarr Steps themselves.
Hang on guys.
The Tarr Steps are an ancient clapper bridge across the River Barle in the Exmoor National Park. It's constructed entirely from large stone slabs and boulders and is the longest of its kind in Britain. The name Tarr is thought to be derived from the Celtic word tochar, meaning causeway. The exact date when the Tarr Steps were built is uncertain. Various theories supporting different ages. Some date it as far back as 1000 BC in the Bronze Age, while others suggest a medieval origin. Similar theories went around the group concerning Andy Perman's hat, but carbon dating confirmed it to be medieval in origin. Folklore gives a different origin for the bridge, however, saying that the devil himself built it, and that he said he would kill anyone who tried to cross. A cat was sent across and local people saw it vaporized before their eyes. The devil eventually conceded, allowing the people to cross his bridge. He did add one condition, however, that people would still be banned from the bridge in the event he chose to sunbathe there, and that stands to this very day, which is why the group hurried across so quickly. As the convoy left the Tarr Steps car park, the sky was brightening, there was some blue sky around, the sun was coming out, and it seemed that there was hope for the rest of the day. But first they would have to splash through another ford. With the skies continuing to clear and the roads drying out, the convoy began to enjoy the drive back towards the hotel, where the plan was to celebrate Gar's birthday that evening.
At least some of them said they were hurrying back for Gar's birthday, but it probably had nothing to do with the Ireland vs Wales Six Nations rugby match that was due to be on live on TV.
The road took the group through the pretty little quaint village of Dulverton. On leaving the village of Dulverton, the group took this deep country road up a hillside which eventually would lead to some glorious views from the top. And as the cars descended the far side of the hill, finally the sunshine came out and the views opened up around us. But of course, as the light faded, there was still time for one last splash through a ford on the way back.
The A361 round Barnstaple is a reasonable road, normally, but extensive roadworks changed that. We'd found that there were often queues as traffic was held for single line working. Entering into the roadworks, there was a strange structure across the road. Was it a new bridge about to be built, or was it a shelter for the workers during the heavy rains? We returned to the Hoops Inn after a great drive organised and planned by Mike. You will notice Big Rove parked up in the car park. Sadly, on the journey down towing Phil and Lorraine's new caravan, its gearbox decided not to transmit power to the rear wheels. To get to the campsite, the caravan was swapped for a wigwam, which was lighter, and Phil and Lorraine did a little car hopping during the day. As we head up the M5, we come across Ian in his Granada Estate towing the Allen's caravan to lighten the load on Big Rove. And Big Rove towing the Windy Wigwam. A little later on, we passed the Coleman Wigwam behind Gar's Transmondio, Betty. Nothing changes, the wipers were still going flat out most of the way up the M5. However, we can advise that everyone made it home safely after a wonderful weekend.
Since you're still here, we can only assume you've been enjoying the video, which is great. Please show your appreciation by subscribing, click on the like button, and why not leave us a comment? We do always respond, and it really helps us out. Thanks very much.
I heard that.